Salut. One thing that makes relationships, I mean, relationships with the opposite sex, good relationships, husband wife relationships, partnership, significant other relationships work is not sex, it's not money, it's not how long you have dated or how long you have been with this person. That one thing that makes relationship smooth and thrive is called maturity. Maturity, the act of being mature in this context, not full development, because maturity in this context is not adulthood, adulthood per se. Maturity actually makes you makes you become able to conduct yourself in a way that will make you tide over a lot of the problems, a lot of the consequences, a lot of the issues that naturally face relationships. Maturity will make you be more patient because sometimes you can see ahead of the moment. Maturity will make you be more considerate. Maturity will make you be more humane. You understand? Maturity is much more than butterflies in the stomach. Maturity is a humane disposition that will make you solve a lot of problems. Have you ever seen an immature adult? That's like an immature adult, somebody who is fully grown, gray hair. This person, like you see, this person don't physically mature, but in the person's character, the person is immature. In the person's emotions, the person is immature. In the person's general disposition, the person is immature. This kind of maturity has nothing to do with your age. Okay? So maturity is a very key essential. Now, what are some of the things that make people act in mature way? I always say knowledge. I necessarily want to say intelligence, knowledge. Knowledge, because some of the knowledge that you have comes with experience. Your knowledge and your exposure. Exposure brings a lot of experience, because you've suffered this before, you know the reality. Exposure, boosts your ability to morph and to mature and to be able to handle situations in an appropriate manner. Okay, so you should be knowledgeable. And this knowledge will come from, it's not instantaneous. This knowledge comes from the fact that you have seen, like you don't, you hear people say things like, I've seen 99. There are sometimes people don't speak, people don't ask because they're coming from a place of experience. And this experience have given them significant knowledge so they know how to handle situations. If you've gone through a lot of experiences and you are still immature, then possibly you have a fundamental problem. But people who are reasonable, people who truly want things to work, are people who experience have actually given them the ability to act in more mature ways. You heard something like the way when they act, if you do pass as in no. Sometimes people, the way people act is because they don't know any better. They don't have other options. They don't have other code of conduct. They don't have experience, so they are just erratic. Their disposition is one that is very immature. So whatever you're doing, I want you to remember something quite significantly, that beyond the love that you may love somebody now, you may feel that instant spark when you meet somebody. You may be dating somebody, this person is there, but you see, your immaturity makes you, it doesn't make you survive or doesn't make the relationship last. You see, people call off relationships for some of the most immature reasons, some of the reasons that are not very, I don't know how to explain it, that could have been endured. Sometimes if you look back, you see that this is a plain fact. This is immaturity at work. So in all that you do, when you want, your relationship, your it mustn't only be a romantic relationship, it can also be a business relationship, it can be a partnership, it can be a work relationship. Maturity is an essential. Okay, always try to step back from all forms of immaturity, all forms of childishness, and try to approach things in a more mature manner. And as you go every day, I pray that through your growth, I wish that through your growth you do not experience a heavy blow from some of the immature decisions that you make. Okay, be knowledgeable, get experience, and be willing to learn. All of this will make you a mature person. I've said something. There are some adults who are very immature. Have you ever seen a rich immature person? It's going to shock you. Most times, people who exhibit maturity when they have wealth, financial or assets on ground, are people who truly have gone through experience. Some of them worked for their money, earned their money. So you see, there's some kind of maturity available. Somebody who just gets money, doesn't know how it came, doesn't understand how to make money. sometimes you may see some kind of financial immaturity there. Okay, so you have physical maturity, emotional maturity, spiritual maturity. And we speak about spiritual maturity is another kettle of fish to fry. Okay, so maturity brings a disposition that is sweet. Maturity brings a disposition that is awesome in all that you do, in all of your emotions, in all of your feelings. Do ensure that you get used to maturity. Au revoir.